Hello, my name is Cherie, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the boutique vendor booths that I rented out 1 year ago, what I liked about the space, what I learned, and why I'm leaving. I think that this video will be very helpful to crafters who might be interested in selling their wares in a retail space. I do have one other video about opening up the boutique space, and I'll try to leave a link to that video somewhere here on screen and also down in the description box below. Without further ado, let's get into it. A boutique is like a small shop within a larger store. My store looked kind of like an indoor flea market, except vendors carried a lot of the same items due to the restrictions on what could and could not be sold. This wasn't such a great feature to the place because it meant that there was extremely fierce competition. However, there were a lot of qualities that I did like about this particular store that I had my boutique inside of. I enjoyed that this store offered a supply room which had ladders and lots of tools that you could use to build out your space. I also liked that they had a dumpster out back where you could dump trash and larger items that you didn't want to try to haul somewhere. They had a staff that would ring up your customers and help you out with anything that you needed help with. They also offered Wi-Fi, which enabled all of the vendors to be able to have their own security cameras, which could be viewed from a smartphone or other device. Also, this particular store offered security tags to the vendors, and they also offered labels with barcodes on them free of charge. But I really do think that you were paying for it by paying the amount of rent that you had to pay to be into the space, but we'll get into that a little bit later. There were many things that I learned from this experience. However, there are just a few things that I learned that I think would be very important to share with you all here on this channel. The first thing that I learned was that you're always going to need someone in your corner when you are an entrepreneur. I had many friends and family members who stepped up to the plate to offer words of encouragement and wisdom, and who also offered their time and their own personal efforts to help me with building out this space. And I am so very grateful to all of the people who helped me through the journey, and you all know who you are, and I really do appreciate you. The second thing that I learned is that everybody has to start somewhere. I learned about the space just 2 weeks before the grand opening. The space was not built out at all, and I had zero inventory. But my family helped me to build out the bones of the space and to paint, and then all I had to do was worry about making products to fill out the space. If you are an entrepreneur or you're interested in making your craft into a business, the best advice would be to just put something out there, and you can always tweak it and adjust it later, because you have to start somewhere, and if you don't start somewhere, you won't start at all. Because I was so stressed about trying to fill out my space, I bulk ordered a bunch of blanks and started embroidering on them and putting them into the space to fill it out and to start making sales. However, what I did not realize was that larger retail stores often make one or two of an item, put them in the space, see if they move, and if those items do not move, they sell them to a smaller reseller who will sell it at a discounted price. If the item does move, then they will order more of that same item to sell in the space. However, because I bulk ordered a bunch of stuff and just embroidered on it and put it in the space, I had my money tied into a lot of inventory that I could not move. And the only other way to try to sell that inventory was to try to place some of those items online. However, because those items were not as popular, they did not sell as well online. So I was stuck with those products and had a lot of money tied up into those items, but I still needed new items to go into my store, and that became a problem. So if you are interested in going into a boutique space or into a retail space, I really would suggest that you only make one or two of each item and see what moves. And then for the items that don't move, you need to remove them from your space and then add in more new items to see if those items will move. Because you always need to fill out your space with items that will sell so that you can make your rent and eventually make a profit. And if you haven't already, please do hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to receive updates. Profits are always going to be low when you only carry one item. So for that reason, I decided to differentiate. At first I only had t-shirts, but then I added bags and patches. And eventually I realized that customers sometimes did not want pre-made embroidered items, but they wanted something custom. So I put up a sign and put out my business card to offer them custom embroidery so that they could get custom items embroidered as they desired. Also, I realized that not all customers even wanted embroidery at times, and I wanted to grab them too, but still stay specialized in what my business specialized in. So how I did this was I made a t-shirt that had plants on it, and then I also offered those plants that were in the t-shirt to my customers. So it was another item outside of embroidery, but it was still related to the craft. So it wasn't like I was just becoming a Walmart or something and selling so many different types of items. I was still focusing on the embroidery, but I was making sure to add something else in there that might grab a sale. It might be an impulse buy for my particular customer. So that is just a tip. I have seen a lot of places that only carry something like a door sign, but not everybody has a front door where they can put a door sign up. So that is a lost opportunity for a sale. You could, of course, carry so many other items that are related to signage, but you would have to differentiate in order to be able to make more sales. So that is just a tip or something that I learned while I was in the space. Now I'm going to get to the hard part, which is why I'm leaving. I grew very attached to the space because of how hard I worked and how hard my family worked to help me pull all of this together. However, I made the difficult decision to leave because the rent, the rent was super high and the profit was low because of all of that fierce competition that I spoke to you about in the beginning of the video. So that is that. And guys, I know that this video is a departure from what I normally record, but I really do hope that it was helpful to you. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to receive more sewing related content. Peace.